Joshna ma'am.
Ma'am.
Next slide pattern ma'am.
Ma'am, shall I start, madam?
లేదు నేను ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ఇస్తాను. మంజరి మ్యామ్.
మేడం చెప్పండి.
నేను స్టార్ట్ చేయనా?
Yes ma'am, you can.
Good afternoon to all the viewers, team members, principals, teachers and dear students. I am Ranjita Logishetty, Principal TSMS, Nedmanur, Nalgonda District. Welcome to the economics webinar session of the Unit 2, Population and Human Resource Development. As you all have seen yesterday, what is the importance of population, and you all have learned the theory of demographic transition and its 3 stages. Let us know today about the causes of the rapid growth of population in India, as it is already 1.3 billion and it covers 17.5% of world population. Now let us welcome the host of this session, Srimati P. Joshna Rani Garu, PGT Economics from TSMS, Jakkapalli, Narsapur, Medak District. Ma'am is a fountain of knowledge in her subject knowledge. As you all have seen in her yesterday's session, she has given a bird's eye view about the concept of population. Let us welcome ma'am. Over to ma'am. Joshna ma'am.
Good afternoon, principals of model schools, students and viewers. Myself, P. Josna Rani, PGT Economics, TSMS, Jakkapalli, Narsapur, Medak. Welcome to the session 2, Unit 2, Population and Human Resource Development. Children, before entering into the session, ma'am, shall I?
Yes, please continue.
Continue.
Yes, children, before entering into the session 2, let us review the previous class. Yesterday, we have done with population and knowledge regarding stages of demographic transition, about demographic features of Indian population. The concepts which we are going to learn in this session is causes of rapid growth of population in India, remedies for population explosion, population policy in India. Then, what are the learning objectives? At the end of the session, you people gain knowledge regarding the causes of rapid growth of population, remedies for population explosion, population policy in India. Then, and the significance of population policy in India. Now let us try to understand the concept of population explosion. Thomas Robert Malthus was the first to state a systematic principle of population in his famous book, Essay on the Principle of Population in 1798. The Malthusian theory explains the relationship between the growth in the food supply and population. According to him, population doubles if it is unchecked in every 25 years, but food supply increases slowly due to the operation of the law of diminishing returns. Children, in your junior intermediate, you people gain knowledge regarding the law of diminishing returns, where after every production, the supply of the food grains will come down due to many factors. So here, according to Malthus, food supply increases slowly. Thus, population increases faster than food supply, and thus imbalance leads to overpopulation. This is called population explosion. And let us learn the causes for rapid growth of population in India. Here, lower death rate, high birth rate, and immigration. Let us try to understand the causes of decline in the death rate. The first one, elimination of famines, control of epidemics, and other factors. See, children, famine. What is famine? Famine is a extreme scarcity of food. Means there is a food shortage. See, recurrence of famines in India under British rule was a major cause of a high mortality rate. You all know very well, we were ruled by Britishers. At that time, Britishers are least bothered about the development of our country. So that is the reason they have not taken any measures to control the situation of the famines. But after independence, the situation has improved a lot, and the famines have not occurred on a large scale, and the problems had arisen due to droughts have been met. The children, let us try to understand the second factor which is responsible for high birth rate, population explosion, that is a control of epidemics. Here, in our country, we have faced so many epidemics, like so many diseases. People have suffered with so many diseases, like cholera, smallpox, and malaria were the major causes of epidemics before independence. Now we all know that smallpox is eradicated completely, and cholera and malaria are very much under control. And even there has been some decline in the incidence of tuberculosis, but still it is a major killer in India. Children, do you know the difference between epidemic and nowadays we all are facing the pandemic situation? Corona, we are all facing the situation. See, I just want to differentiate the difference between epidemic and pandemic. Epidemic, which spreads in a short period of time within a particular region, whereas pandemic, you all are very well known regarding this. Rapid spread of diseases over a whole country or world. So it crosses the boundaries. Here, children, for the epidemics, vaccines were discovered, but for this corona, COVID-19, it is yet to be discovered. Then, children, the next factor which is responsible for the population explosion is the factors such as supply of drinking water, sanitation, hygiene, the spread of education, expanded medical facilities, immunization. So here, all these had its impact on the mortality rate. The death rate has come down. These are the reasons for the reduction in the death rates. The supply of pure drinking water have improved in both urban and rural areas, and people have very well known the knowledge regarding the hygiene, sanitation, even the spread of education helped a lot. And with the expanded medical facilities, immunization, our death rate, mortality rate has come down. Now let us try to understand the causes of a high birth rate. Children, the birth rate is very high in India. In yesterday's class, we have discussed regarding the population of our country. Day by day, it is increasing. So except in the states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Goa, birth rate has not declined, has declined significantly in India due to a number of economic and social factors. So except in these states, in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Goa, the birth rate is somewhat has declined. But whereas in other states, it does not decline. So due to economic factors and social factors. So here, economic environment of a country influences human behavior to a great extent. Even fertility has its basis in the economic life of the country. Now let us try to understand how these economic factors are responsible for the high birth rate. We have three economic factors here, mainly predominance of agriculture, urbanization, and poverty. See children, predominance of agriculture. In agrarian societies, where agriculture is the main base for the sustenance of the people of India, children have never been considered as an economic burden. Here, the techniques which they use in the agriculture is generally primitive. Periods of intense work with periods of low activity. It means the half of the year are the peaks of production. Here, for production, harvesting, weeding, sowing, for all these, it will cover more than half of the year. So, this time require more labor. Acute need of labor is required during the peak productive activity, during the time. So here it requires more labor. So that is the reason child labor is required, and children are never been considered as an economic burden. So hence in a predominantly agricultural economy like India, bigger families exist. And let us look into the next factor. Next economic factor is urbanization. So what is urbanization? Urbanization is nothing but the growth of cities and towns. Growth of cities and towns here. Here, this due to the staggering industrialization, that is a low industrialization, the process of urbanization is slow in India. Here, slow urbanization process and predominance of villages. Here, people, they live mostly in the rural areas. Why? Because they don't want to migrate to the cities and towns, even though the industrialization started, because the process was very low. So, due to the low industrialization, there is a slow urbanization. So, it has failed. This urbanization factor failed to generate social factors, so social forces, which usually bring down the birth rate. Children, let us look into the another cause, another factor here for high birth rate, that is poverty. See, you can see in the children, you can see in the picture, the poverty, how the poor people, where they live, how the conditions, the horrible, very horrible conditions they will live. And here, poverty in underdeveloped countries usually results in a high fertility. Mohammad Mamdani, now the economist, argues people are not poor because they have large families. Quite contrary, they have large families because they are poor. Because they are poor, they increase their size of the family. Let us now try to understand the need behind high fertility. Here, at a lower level of incomes of the family, the benefits of having an additional child to the family generally exceed the cost of his upbringing. It exceeds its cost of upbringing. Because he earns for the family. The poorer classes tend to associate economic security not with the reduction, children, you know down, not with the reduction of family, but with an increase in the number of children. So the poorer classes tend to associate their economic security not with the reduction, but with an increase in the number of children. The poor have no other economic asset except their children, their own labor, their more number of earners. They just want to increase their family size to increase their earnings. And here, children, another reason for this is a lower survival rate. Due to the lower survival rate also, lower survival rate reinforces preference for children, because the survival rate was very less due to many factors. It may be due to the sanitation, hygiene, or vaccination, immunization. Due to the many factors, the children used to die in tender ages. So due to that, this lower survival rate reinforces the preference for children. Next, social factors. See here, children, Contribution of social factors to the high birth rate is tremendous in this country. Let us try to understand the factors, social factors, which are the causes for high birth rate in our country. Here the first one. Here, the near universality of marriage. Marriage is both a religious and social necessity in India. The custom of arranged marriages, under which parents feel that marrying daughters is a social obligation. It's a compulsion which results in a universality of marriage. Children, do you know that presently in India, by the age of 50, only 5 out of 1,000 Indian women remain unmarried? What do you mean by this? That remaining all got married. Why? Because parents are very curious about the security of their daughters. So that's why they think that it's compulsory and it's social obligation to get married. So that is the reason our birth rate increases. Children, you can see in the picture here the universality of the marriage. The next cause is a lower age at the time of marriage. The relatively lower age at the time of marriage in the country is also believed to be responsible for high fertility. Here, relatively lower age. Here is responsible for high fertility. An empirical study has claimed that women marrying between 20 and 24 have the same fertility as those marrying before the age of 20. In India, the average age of women at marriage is still around 18 years. The fertility, that is the reason the fertility is bound to remain high, because they are at the very lower age, they are going to be get married. Then next cause we have, next factor is religious and social superstitions are responsible for high birth rate. Due to the religious and superstitions, many people desire to have children irrespective of their economic position. Here, no regard of the economic conditions. Here, Hindus in any case prefer to have a son, because according to their religion, certain rites can be performed only by him. See, children, in the picture, you can see one woman is walking on fire. So, according to her, according to the opinion of them, that their wishes, whatever they desires, everything will be satisfied, God will feel happy. So they believe in that superstitions. In another picture, you can see that one of the rite is performed by sun. So according to this, they just want to make God happy. They think that their ancestors' souls will appear and their ancestors will become happy. The souls of the ancestors bring happiness and prosperity. So these are the religious and social superstitions are responsible for the high birth rate in our country. Then children, we have another cause, that is a joint family system. In India, joint family system is very common. Joint family system induces young couples to have children, though they may not be in a position to support them. Even though they are unemployed, even though they don't do any job and all, they won't earn also. Here, at the head of the family will look after the joint family. So that is the reason this joint family system induces young couples to have children, unable, even though the child doesn't earn anything. So economic burden is borne by the earning members of the family. And children, another reason for the causes of high birth rate is a lack of education. Lack of education. What is the lack of definition for illiteracy? Illiteracy is the lack of education. which is widespread in India. So here the percentage of literacy among women is much lower when compared with men. Literacy rate among women is much lower. Moreover, in our country, whatever female literacy we have, it's largely concentrated in urban areas, and the incidence of here children incidence of female literacy is very much higher. It's the highest in North Indian states. In North Indian states, we find a large number of female illiteracy. That is in North Indian states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. See here, children, as long as this huge population remains illiterate, it cannot be exposed to rational ideas. People will not shed irrational ideas, and religious superstitions will continue to have bigger families, even if it causes deprivation and a low standard of living. See, children, here in the picture, you can see offering food to a crow. That's also one of the right, because they believe in the superstitions due to the lack of education. So that is also one of the reason for a high birth rate in our country. And children, next, use of contraceptives. Here, this factor, the use of contraceptives, is confined mostly to the educated urban population. Though government is carrying the idea of family planning, the rural population, the response is not encouraging. Even though government is taking so many measures to make the people to follow the family planning methods, but the response is very less. So here in the picture, you can see the graph here. Children, which sector of the people are using this contraceptives? The public sector. The blue color which you see is the public sector, and orange is the private sector, and the light color is the other one. So here only the public sector people, only the people who are living in the urban areas, in the cities, they are only following the use of contraceptives to control the families. So here, because the more larger India lives in villages, isn't it? The rural India we call more. We have more number of villages in our country. So here most of the population lives in villages, and they don't want to use. Contraceptives. They don't want to reduce the size of their family. Here now, children, let us try to understand the remedies of population explosion. Here, the country's existing population is an obstacle to economic development. To deal with the existing population problem, threefold measures would be required. So what are those threefold measures? We have economic measures, we have social measures, and we have a family planning program. So here, children, economic measures. The size of population in India is large. It is neither desirable nor possible to reduce it. Under these circumstances, vigorous efforts are needed to reduce the population. So economic measures can ensure a permanent solution to the problem. But the implementation of economic measures is not an easy task. It takes rather a long time to carry out economic programs. So here we have threefold measures here. Once again, expansion of industrial sector, creation of employment, equitable distribution of income, and removal of poverty. Now let us try to understand expansion of industrial sector. Here children, the family size of the people employed in the industrial sector is smaller than that of the people who are employed in the agricultural sector. Children, in the yesterday's session, we have discussed about agrarian economy, where more number of people are required. So here, the size of the family is very large, whereas the family size of the people employed in the industrial sector is smaller than that of the people who are employed in the agricultural sector. In villages, any number of people can work on the family farm. Any number of people can work on the family farm, though some of them will hardly make any contribution to the output. Even though they won't earn anything, simply all the family members, they will work in the field, hardly make any contribution to the output. Most of the operational holdings in India are not economic and can thus provide only subsistence living. It means whatever people they are earning from the agriculture is sufficient for their subsistence, means only for their livelihood. Here children, this situation, because only for the sustenance they are earning, this situation demands that some working force should be transferred from agriculture to some other sectors. Unless unless the people are transferred, unless the people are migrated from agriculture sector to some other sector, other sectors here, either it is industrial sector or territory sector. Unless they migrate, we cannot solve this problem of population explosion. So here, industrial workers are aware of the difficulties in getting employment and are interested in restricting the size of their family. So the people who migrate from the rural areas, they as soon as they come to the cities and towns, job is not ready. They won't find any ready-made job. So they face so many difficulties in getting employment. So these difficulties restrict them to reduce the size of their family. They realize that in order to raise their standard of living, they must restrict the size of their family. Here, moreover, higher productivity in the industrial sector. Higher productivity in the industrial sector makes industrial workers conscious of their standard of living. And they realize that in order to raise their standard of living, they must restrict the size of their family. Children, we are learning economic measures which are the remedies for a population explosion. So the first one we have discussed is expansion of industrial sector. Then children, the next one, creation of employment. Creation of employment. Urbanization is interdependent of industrialization. But besides industrial development, there can be many other factors which contribute to the growth of urban centers. So here, in order to induce people to migrate from the rural areas to cities or towns, the government will have to create more jobs. So here, people, if the jobs are, government is creating more number of jobs, then people will ready to migrate. Here if this program is carried out in an effective manner, which program here we are talking about? Creation of more job opportunities in cities. So if this program is carried out in an effective manner and the migration of rural population to urban starts in a big way, It may prove to be a powerful check on the growth of a population. Because here, when once the people, they migrate, when once the people, they comes from the rural areas to the urban area, they know very well the housing problem, the cost of upbringing of children in urban areas usually prohibit people from having bigger families than children. Let us try to understand another measure, equitable distribution of income and removal of poverty. Here, children, you try to understand the concept. Here, poor people have virtually no interest in limiting the size of the family. They don't want to limit the size while living in poverty conditions. We have learned that children are their assets. They treat children as their assets. They treat that children are the income source. So here they are not at all interested in limiting the size of the family because they live in the poverty conditions. They often lose human qualities and at times get alienated even from themselves. Here, therefore, as long as this human virtues are not restored, no one should expect them to become conscious towards family welfare. Here, once the poor people start getting basic amenities of life, they have no compulsion to have more children, and their attitude towards the size of family will undergo a change. For this equitable distribution of income, right to work with a living wage is necessary. So in this and in this changed situation, not only will they become conscious of the number of children, but also they will undertake every possible effort to make the life of their children comfortable. So here, children, for this, we have number of programs government has introduced, public distribution system, MoneyGram, and you all know very well the MDM, which is provided in schools and colleges. Midday meals we have. We have pension schemes. So government have introduced number of schemes for the equitable distribution of income and removal of poverty. You can see in PDS, public are getting the basic amenities here, the midday meals, free education. Then let us try to understand social measures. Well, we have completed economic measures and let us try to understand social measures. So here, population explosion is not only an economic problem, but also a social problem. Many causes of population explosion are deep rooted in social life of the country, So here we have social evils like illiteracy, superstitions, orthodoxy, and deplorable condition of the women. These are the social evils which are prevailing in our country. So all these evils contribute for the population explosion. So these social evils must be curtailed to bring down the birth rate. Now let us look into what are the social measures we have to follow. Here, education, status of women, age of marriage. So these are the various measures we have to take. Here, children, education. Contribution of education in bringing down birth rate is significant. Education makes people to change their attitude. Education changes the attitude of a person towards family, marriage, and the number of children he should have. Here, most educated people delay their marriage and prefer small families. And education makes a frontal attack on orthodoxy and superstitions and induces people to practice family planning. Here, most educated people, they delay their marriages and prefer to have small family. So here, the education of girls must receive priority for arresting rapid growth of a population. In our country, family planning program, family planning program is not much of a success. The experience of government is that educated people are more responsive to the idea of family planning. So here our main intention is to control the population explosion. So here the main measure is here education. So government experiences that educated people are more responsive to the idea of family planning. So there is another added reason why education proves to be an effective instrument of population control. Here, children, when education is widespread, both boys as well as girls are sent to schools and colleges. This automatically delays marriages and thus reduces reproductive span of women. Here you can see in the picture, girls getting education, going to schools. So education is most important measure to control population explosion. Then children, improving the status of women. Improving the status of women. Here, although the Constitution of India has guaranteed equality between men and women, there is a discrimination in a social life and the position of women is inferior to that of men, both socially as well as economically. This is perhaps the most important reason why education is less among women, and in its absence, they are quite indifferent to family planning. Here, moreover, the discrimination between men and women in the society leads to the growth of family size. Here, for many people, a son enhances the prestige of the family, performs useful religious rites, and provides security in old age. So here, people will not shed these irrational ideas, women, irrational ideas, unless the status of women improves. Unless we improve the status of women, these irrational ideas will not shed. So this is also one of the measure which is helpful in the reduction of population. Then next we have age of marriage. Here children, fertility depends on the age of women at marriage, at the time of marriage. So it is necessary that every possible social, legal and educative measures have to be taken to raise the marriage age, Here, age of legal marriages. In the map, you can see which country, what is the age of a boy and a girl. So here in India, various factors, including backward social consciousness and lack of education, average age of marriage has been very low in rural areas. In rural areas, people are worried about the safety of unmarried daughter. Why? Because of the illiteracy. So they don't understand the legal measures also, educative measures. So that is the reason marriage age should be increased. Then next measure which we have is a family planning program. The importance of a family planning program as a device to control the population explosion is now universally recognized. Importance of family planning program. It is as a device to control population explosion is now universally recognized. Here children, the family planning program. In family planning program, important measures are the public information program, research, then incentives and disincentives, and family planning centers. Now children, here, children, do you know that China, Sri Lanka, Malaysia followed one child norm, and they were succeeded in bringing down birth rate. Here, only these countries are following, and they have succeeded also in bringing down the birth rate. Here, children, in India, except Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Goa, other states are not aware of need of family planning. So here, under public information program, under this program, couples in the reproductive age are explained the usefulness of family planning. Here, government is using all media. Government is using all media to publicize the importance of family planning. So here, this is considered necessary for raising the consciousness of the people, without which they will not accept any family planning program. So here, for giving the publicity, government has used all the media, like we have cinema, radio, television, posters, newspapers. So government has used all this media to publicize the importance of family planning. Here, once the idea of family planning catches up the imagination of the people, they will themselves voluntarily start practicing it. Then we have incentives and disincentives. Incentives and disincentives. Here, children, the government has introduced different schemes in which incentives are given to those who accept family planning. Here, the system of cash prizes has given some inducement to the people. Because of the poverty, people used to avail this facility, like getting cash prizes. And the family planning is, in India, family planning is voluntary. You can see in the graph also, children. Here the sterilizations, how many people, how much a percentage of the people have accepted this. And here, children, the next one which we will discuss is regarding the family planning centers. Family planning centers. In establishment of family planning centers is an integral part of the family planning program. So here, children, these centers provide various clinical facilities needed for family planning. Family planning centers are established to reduce the population, high birth rates, to control the population, to reduce the population explosion. We can observe in the rural areas also. In the primary health centers, they have this separate family planning center. Then children, we have research. Research in the field of demography. Demography, yesterday I have told. Demography I have discussed, the study of population. So research in the field of demography, communication, action, reproductive biology, and fertility. Control must be given a high priority in any family planning program. So if a government invests more for this research to some extent we can reduce the population. So but generally this aspect is ignored. This aspect is ignored in underdeveloped countries. So here children, family planning is family planning has been incorporated in the 5-year plans. The only section of Indian society which has responded to the family planning program is intelligentsia. Who is intelligentsia here? The educated people who better understand the merits of maintaining a small family. So despite various limitations, the fact remains that family planning has helped in keeping growth of population under check. Children, now let us try to understand the population policy in India. So here, what is population policy? Population policies, these are different laws or regulations that government enact to either reduce or increase population growth. Here children, the alarming growth rate of population demands the need for positive population policy to restrict the rapid growth of population. And do you all know, children, you all know that India is the first country in the world to begin a population control program in 1952. So children, 5-year plans by the government of India for population control. So what it has done, let us try to understand. In the first 5-year plan, India is the first country in the world to begin a population control program in 1952. It emphasized the use of natural devices for family planning. And the second 5-year plan, work was done in the direction of education and research, and the clinical approach was encouraged. In the third 5-year plan, in 1965, the sterilization technique for both men and women was adopted. Under this plan, the technique of copper T was also adopted. An independent department called Family Planning Department was set up during the third 5-year plan in 1965. And the fourth 5-year plan, all kinds of birth control methods, either they are the conventional, that is the traditional methods, or modern methods, were encouraged. In the fifth 5-year plan, under this plan, the national population policy was announced on 16th April 1976. In this policy, the minimum age for marriage determined by Shraddha Act 1929 was increased. It increased the age for boys from 18 to 21 years and for girls from 14 to 18 years. In 6th, 7th and 8th plans, efforts were done to control population by determining long-term demographic aims. So in the 9th 5-year plan, in 1993, government has established an expert group under the chairmanship of M.S. Swaminathan for formulating national population policy. Though this group had prepared the draft of the new population policy in 1994, it was reviewed in 1999 and passed by the parliament in 2000, and the central government formulated the new national population policy in February 2000. And this new population policy has 3 main objectives. We have immediate objectives, we have midterm objectives, and long-term objectives. In immediate objectives of this National Population Policy 2000, government, it wanted to meet the needs of contraception. It wanted to improve the health infrastructure, provision of the medical facilities, increasing the vaccinations and health personnel and number of people, the workers, health workers, they want to increase and to provide integrated services for basic reproductive and child health care are the immediate objectives of National Population Policy 2000. And the midterm objectives. Here in the midterm objectives to reduce the total fertility rates to the replacement level by 2010 and the long-term objectives to stabilize the population by 2046 means population should be under control. See here children, the following measures were adopted by the government to achieve the family planning goals. That is first motivating people, motivation program to spread the knowledge of family planning. All mass media were used to spread the consciousness about family limitations, supply of contraceptives, cash awards for undergoing sterilization, extensive use of sterilization of both males and females, and relied upon education and economic progress to restrict the growth of the population. And not only this, raising the level of education, particularly female education, will have more effect on mean age at marriage and fertility, recognizing the close relationship that exists between high birth rate and high infant mortality rate. High priority is given to the maternal and child health program for the success of the family planning program. Children, the National Population Policy has achieved this. They want to achieve it by 2046. So here, they just want to, by 2046, the infant mortality rate has to come down 30 per 1,000 live births and reduction of maternal mortality rate to below 100 per 1 lakh live births. Universal immunization, each and every person in the country, each and every child or every mother should be immunized and achieve 80% of deliveries in regular dispensaries, hospitals, and medical institutions with trained staff, and access to information containing AIDS, prevention and control of communicable diseases. And incentive to adopt a two-child small family norm, facilities for safe abortions to be increased, strict enforcement of the Child Marriage Restraint Act and Prenatal Diagnostic Technique Act, and raising the age of marriage of girls not earlier than 18 and preferably raising it to 20 years or more. A special reward for women who marry after 21 and opt for a terminal method of contraception after the second child. Children, let us have a glance on what we have learned. We have learned the concept of population explosion, causes for rapid growth of population, remedies for population explosion, population policy in India. And children, you try to improve your learning by revising this. What is population explosion? What are the causes for rapid growth of population in India? What are the measures to control the population explosion? Children, do a small project work. In your family, trace the number of children for every woman in 3 generations. And what changes do you observe? You just do a small project work. Children, I hope you all have understood the concept. You all have understood, and being a responsible citizen of our country, please bring awareness and each and everyone to reduce the population in our country, which is an obstacle for the economic development. Thank you, children. Thank you all.
Thank you, Joshna ma'am, for a wonderful session on the insight about the causes for rapid growth of population in India, the concept of population explosion, and the remedies for the population explosion. Not only that, ma'am has emphasized about what is the population policies in India and how the government is taking initiative to adopt the policies and implement them in a perfect manner. Hope all of you have understood and jotted down the points. Children, I believe you all would do the project which ma'am has given and hope that you all have got good knowledge about the content. Thank you all for attending all the 3 sessions from the morning. Have a good day.